registered participants, friends, well-wishers, and colleagues to this national webinar on physical fitness, lifestyle of the future. This webinar is organized by the Department of Physical Education and Sports, Jyoti Nivas College, in collaboration with Physical Education Foundation of India. It is customary in Jyoti Nivas, as part of its immersion in the Indian tradition and its spiritual ethos, to begin all significant occasions with the lighting of the lamp, followed by prayer seeking divine blessings on the occasion. Today too, we begin with the lighting of the lamp by our beloved principal, Dr. Sister Elizabeth, followed by a prayer. This will be followed by a video presenting to us a message by our principal, who is the impetus behind all our activities and the brain behind our endeavors. The lighting of the lamp, followed by a prayer and sister's message. Do join us in watching this sacred proceedings.
Loving God, as we find ourselves at the beginning of a new day, we thank you for bringing us together for this webinar during trying times. Lord, we pray that you restore and uplift our purpose in the field of education. May your presence prevail through this webinar, and we ask you to ignite our minds with your gracious wisdom and knowledge. We place our dear principal, Dr. Sister Elizabeth, into your loving care. Lord, we pray that you continue to protect her and keep her safe. We pray for the management and the organizers of this webinar. We also submit our resource persons and our dear students and participants into your hands. May this day see accomplishment of the fruitful efforts of all those who worked towards making this day possible. God, we pray that you give to each member present here the gift of spirit, wisdom, understanding, right judgment, courage, and knowledge. Amen.
The Nivas College Autonomous is a minority Christian educational institution founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Taos and affiliated to Bangalore Central University since its inception in 1966. The college has remained steadfast in its aim of providing quality education in the humanities, sciences, commerce, management, and occasional courses by fulfilling the highest standards of intellectual excellence, code of ethical values, women empowerment, career advancement, and social relevance. Education of Jyoti Nivas College is also intended to develop moral and spiritual values while preserving the essence of Indian culture. We also strive to inculcate in our students a worldview which will equip them for global citizenship and competence. Jyoti Nivas College has completed 54 years of its meaningful existence, crossing one milestone after another. The college has seen state-of-the-art infrastructure development and introduction of courses that are relevant and challenging. I'm glad to note that today the college ranks among premier women's institutions in the state and in the country. We are living in times which can be described as strange today. unprecedented, challenging, demanding, stressful. We are living in times which are challenging us to go beyond our normal capacities, leaving behind our comfort zones. Times are forcing us to explore and equip ourselves with skills which we had always considered as needed only in the corporate world. Today, all these barriers are being toned down, boundaries are being crossed, outlooks are expanding, perspectives are changing. Adaptation has become the ruling principle today. Adapt to changing times. No one can claim today that they lack the skill or don't possess that skill. Learn, adapt, move on has become the mantra of today. COVID 19 has taught us two important lessons of life: social responsibility and adaptability. These two life skills are being honed as never before. Adaptability is a new avatar of Darwin's theory of the survival of the fittest. If this new law of the pandemic makes it sound scientific and carelessly indifferent to human suffering, the second lesson that COVID 19 has taught us balances the equation social responsibility. COVID has taught us an all important life lesson which was always there in Indian philosophical thought. Paropkarartham idam shariram, others before self. It's not enough. We are strong with high immunity levels. Others may not be so strong and may have low immunity level and may be highly vulnerable. We have to think of them and make sure we don't become spreaders. We cannot take the stand that Cain took when God asked him where Abel was. Cain says, I am not my brother's keeper. COVID has taught us that we are our brother's keeper. COVID has taught us to think beyond ourselves, to get out of our narrow, insular prejudices and think globally. Again, this idea was always there in Indian philosophical thought. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Each one of us will prosper only if all of us prosper. Each one is safe only if all of us are safe. The pandemic has thrown up challenges never dreamed of before. Technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in our lives. Online is a new buzzword. Portals, platforms have become household terms. Technology is no longer confined to industry and the corporate world. It has gate-crashed like anything into the academic world. E-teaching and learning have become the norm of today. The ongoing COVID crisis has changed the dimension and approach towards education. The impact of this crisis is long-term. Academicians and students will have to embrace modern technology and digital pedagogy as learning mechanisms. The young and the old are challenged like never before to become techno-savvy. Informed and productive use of digital media is going to be the game changer for the field of education in the future. Our yearning to learn new things will never fade. And in keeping with the recent changes, we adapted very quickly the digital forum through organizing online webinars and meetings to be academically active and progressive in our thinking. On this note, I invoke the blessings of the Almighty that we stay safe and healthy. I bid a warm welcome to all the delegates to this webinar. I also welcome all the panelists of the webinar. May the fellowship of the faculty members between the colleges thrive. May this platform, which has brought all of us together, ignite our minds and enhance our commitment towards our student community. As I wish the organizers of the webinar today, I wish each one of you God's abundant blessings. Thank you.
I'm sure that video gave you an idea of what Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous is all about and how we are at the forefront of change, willing to embrace the new circumstances and see how best we can continue with our academic journey. I'm sure many of us have received invitations for webinars from various colleges and departments. And Jyoti Nivas also has conducted webinars. Different departments have conducted subject-oriented webinars. But I think a webinar by the Department of Physical Education is still one of a kind and quite a rarity. And we are very happy that Dr. Sarjan George, the head of the Department of Physical Education, Jyoti Nivas, has taken this initiative to have a webinar from the Physical Science Department, from the Physical Education Department on physical fitness, lifestyle of the future. A healthy body and a healthy mind are both essential for human beings. They both are needed for us to lead our life with positive energy. And that is the focus of this seminar. We have very eminent sportspersons, high achievers as the resource persons for this webinar today. I invite Dr. Sarjan George to welcome the gathering and introduce our eminent resource persons for the day.
The coronavirus started creating havoc in the whole world. It is now clear that unless a vaccine or confirmed treatment is developed, we will have to live with corona. Considering the rise in infection of coronavirus, it has forced us to change our lifestyle. Good afternoon. Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous welcomes you to the National Sports Webinar on Physical Fitness, Lifestyle of the Future. We have with us our speakers for this afternoon, Dr. Said M.H. Kimani, Mrs. Reed Abraham, Moderator Dr. Kishore Kumar, and the Principal of Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous, Dr. Sister Elizabeth. Dr. Said M.H. Kimani was born in Madras, spent his childhood in Hyderabad, grew up and settled in Bangalore. His first cricket test debut was against New Zealand at Auckland in 1976. He has played 88 test matches, scoring nearly 3,000 runs, 2 centuries, 12 half centuries, and 198 victims behind wickets from 1976 to 1986. He was a member of Indian cricket team which won the World Cup for the first time in the year 1983. Dr. Kimani was given a number of prestigious awards for his outstanding performance in cricket. Among them are Padma Shri Award, Arjuna Award in 1983, and the Best Wicket Keeper in the World Award also in the same year. He graduated from St. Joseph College, served 41 years in State Bank of India. He is currently working as advisor and consultant to multinational corporates in the areas of personality development and motivation. A thorough gentleman with utmost humility and sensitivity towards his environment. He has not only achieved great heights in cricket, but has been acknowledged by millions of people as a great human being. On behalf of the management, principal, staff of Jyoti Nivas College, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Said M.H. Kimani. Our other distinguished speaker, a former international athlete, Mrs. Reed Abraham. Reed Abraham has an outstanding and long athletic career spanning 15 years from 1976 to 1992. She has represented the country and the state of Karnataka on a number of occasions, setting a number of records along the way. She is known for her dedication and the sense of discipline. Her best achievements was winning a national championship within 10 months of giving birth. She was first Indian mother to break a national record and the South Asian Games record. Reed has won a number of international medals and has participated in 2 Asian Games, 3 Asian Track and Field Championship, and 2 South Asian Games. She has also been the recipient of the prestigious Arjuna Award, Rajyotsava Award, and Dasra Award. Currently, she is a consultant of sports and fitness. On behalf of the management and the principal, I welcome to you Mrs. Ruth Abraham. I am privileged to welcome and introduce the moderator, Dr. Kishore Kumasiki. Hails from Mangalore, a gold medalist in master's degree in physical education. Doctorate from Bangalore University. He has started his career as a physical education director in college, and in the year 1996 joined Mangalore University as an assistant director of physical education, served 29 years in teaching in UG and PG students. He has published many national and international journals in Indian and foreign university. He has written many books on physical education. Dr. Kishore was a former Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, a syndicate and academic council member of Mangalore University. Currently, he is a Dean, Faculty of Education and Director of Physical Education, Mangalore University. He was given the Best Teacher Award from Mangalore University. On behalf of the Jyoti Nivas College, I welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. Sister Elizabeth, a motivator, highly dynamic, and one who always supports the sports activities. My hearty welcome to you, sister. I take it a great pleasure to welcome all the physical education directors, teachers, coaches, especially Physical Education Foundation of India, all the staff of Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous, and all the participants. Welcome everyone. A healthy lifestyle not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. Stay home and stay fit. Health is wealth. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sargent, for that warm welcome and for giving us the highlights of our resource persons' achievements, though I'm sure nobody in India really needs an introduction to eminent achievers like Mr. Syed Kirmani and Ms. Ruth Abraham. Thank you once again for your warm welcome to all the participants and to all our friends and colleagues who have joined us virtually for this webinar. Mr. Kishore Kumar has very graciously accepted to be the moderator for this webinar. I now invite Professor Kishore Kumar to take over the proceedings as the moderator, after which we will be able to listen to our resource persons and interact with them. Dr. Kishore Kumar, over to you now.
Hello. 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 Audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. You can continue, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm good afternoon to one and all. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very happy today. Fellow participants of this webinar, please join me in giving our guests the most cordial welcome. It's a great day, and all of us are planning and waiting to meet online and listen to the valuable talks of two stalwarts of Indian sports. Myself, Kishore Kumasiki, Director of Physical Education, Bangalore University. I have the pleasure of being the moderator in this national webinar on physical fitness, lifestyle of the future. At the outset, I would like to render my humble thanks to Dr. Sister Elizabeth CS, Principal, Jyoti Nivas College, Bangalore, members of the staff of Jyoti Nivas College, technicians of this webinar, and my good friend, former national athlete, and organizing secretary of this national webinar, Dr. Sarjan George. All of us very well know that Jyoti Nivas College, Bangalore is known for its quality education and achievement in sports. This college has immensely supported to the promotion of sports and produced many national and international sports persons to the country as well. Also, I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Srikanth, Secretary, PEFI Karnataka Chapter, Mr. Nivas and others to this webinar. To begin this webinar, we have, I said, two stalwarts of Indian sports, Padma Shri, Dr. Syed Kirmani, former international cricketer, and Mrs. Reet Abraham, former international athlete and Arjuna awardee. Dr. Syed Kirmani and Mrs. Reet Abraham will enlighten us about how physical fitness will be the future lifestyle. Dear friends, at least now, the whole world must have realized the importance of fitness, good health, and healthy lifestyle. If one has not understood the value of fitness, then you never ever realize it, and that will become the most unfortunate matter in the world. Our discussion today at this hour of the day is to focus on physical fitness to be a way of life. Physical fitness, as all of you know, that is the most precious commodity which enables us to live our lives to the fullest extent. Dear friends, we have a lot of advantages of adopting physical fitness as a way of life. Today, our speakers will enrich our knowledge about this, how fitness is important in the future to face the pandemic, including COVID-19. Now, let me request Padma Shri Dr. Syed Kirmani to address us. If participants have any question, please post it at the end of the talk. Because of the time constraints, only 3 questions will be allowed for clarification. Kirmani sir, very nice talking to you. After
Yes,
1 minute,
hello, and
we are all
yes.
eagerly waiting for your talk. Over to you, sir.
Well, Dr. Kishore Kumar, I must address you as Dr. Kishore. It's a very powerful name, very popular name, though we have met earlier. But let me start off by saying hello, greetings to all the viewers, listeners, and a very special greetings to Reet Abraham and Sister Elizabeth. Right, and all those. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Am I?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, the topic is to keep oneself fit and physical fitness, etc. and etc. And all those viewers as physical directors, trainers of various institutions, colleges, etc. and etc. I'm sure you're all listening and you're all present. Due to the technical snag into the internet connections, etc. and etc., I think we have exceeded. I was supposed to have committed until from 3 p.m. to probably 3:30. Postponed the other commitment of looking at inconsistency of the connectivity. Nevertheless, coming on to a very, very important topic of physical fitness. I suppose each one of us have to be very conscious about what is physical fitness and how one should administer into the physical fitnesses to keep oneself hale and hearty and healthy. You see, only when you are consistent on your physical fitness, and apparently, you see, now due to the lockdown, there have been so many inconveniences caused due to the lockdown. The parks have been closed. The what do you call the what do you call these running tracks have been closed. The stadiums have been closed. Gyms have been closed. I don't know how the physical directors are keeping themselves fit and their wards fit. But thanks to technology, no two ways about it. You know, the technology which has come in, you see now on laptops, on your cell phones, on your iPads, and there are so many things, the technology, mind-boggling technology for sure, right? And they can utilize all those, and there have been so many you know, shows on how to keep yourself. Hi, Rit, nice to see you there.
Good to see you too.
I'm waiting to hear from you also, Reet, how you keep. Of course, you have retained and maintained yourself. You look like an international athlete right now. You can participate in the Olympics, I'm sure.
Thank you.
So, I'm fabulous to see you. You are a great inspiration, motivation to all those who are watching you. So fit you are. Right. So on that count, let me continue with whatever I was coming at. When you are at home, you can do that as an athlete. Reet will tell you more about how you got to skip at home. You keep a skipping rope at home, isometrics, right? And then you have the YouTube facility. You have the Google facility where you can contact various, you know, directors of sports, disciplines, exercises, yoga. All these things can be done in one bedroom also, or on the terraces if you have. Right, and then this is how you got to direct your wards. This is how you got to tell your students how they should keep themselves fit. It's very, very important. Unfortunately, there are so many outdoor disciplines. Only when you go outdoor, unfortunately, you know, you don't have to go running up and down the stairs. You know, walk or run or jog. It's a wonderful exercise when you're in a stadium. Right? When you are in a stadium, you take the steps, you jog on the steps, you come down walking, and then you take big leaps onto 2 steps. And so likewise, this is how you have to keep yourself fit. It is very, very important, particularly to all the disciplines of sports persons. You see, it is very, very important that due to this lockdown and the very unfortunate coronavirus, which is crept globally, you see, now everybody is panicking. You see, I don't open the news at all. I don't open the newspapers at all. Don't look into it, please. You know, it's nothing but, you know, I don't have to elaborate. I don't have to go into the details of it. Now, we are only talking about how one should keep oneself fit. That is important. You see, now you can be domesticated, you can be domesticatingly involved with the housework. You see. Now, let me, I would like to, I would wait for Dr. Kishore Kumar's questions on me, because I would like to tell what all I do to keep myself fit, you know. So on that count, my dear physical directors, trainers who are listening to me, please instruct your wards, your students, the college students, particularly, you know, all are indoors. See, and most of the majority of these students live in apartments of 3-4 floors minimum, or 2 floors. take the steps. And then isometrics, stretching exercises, yoga exercises. Wow, fantastic. This is what, and the best time is early morning hours. Early morning hours. I'm sure most of us get up by 5 o'clock, and the first meeting one should adhere to, which I do. I get up at 5 a.m. every morning. You see, this is, should I say, a good habit or a bad habit? Okay, this was inculcated to me by my parents. Early morning, they used to get up 5 o'clock, take my elder brother and myself. At that time, my third brother wasn't born. Okay, as kids, 4 years, 5 years, kids. First meeting at 5 and 5:30 is with the Almighty Lord. That's the best meeting you can ever think of. He is the provider to all of us globally. And I'm sure all of us believe in that, right? So you have to ask him only for your physical fitness. First meeting, the early morning hours is the best time. That's where you have a little bit of fresh air in our over-polluted country, unfortunately. I have to say that. You see, due to the lockdown, there was a lot of freshness, a lot of fresh air going around during the lockdown period, even now. Once the lockdown relaxed, oh my God, we went bumper to bumper again, and there were so many cases of positive tests were done, and unfortunately, it's going haywire. Let's not worry about all that, okay? Let's look after ourselves, help one another. You see, be passionate about what you want to do. And that is very, very important. Only when you are physically fit, you can help one another, help your neighbor, help one another, talk to your friends on telephone, you know. These are the things which will keep you going, and you got to have that inner energy. That's important. The inner energy, the inner passion, right? To do something which you like, which you love. That is important, not just for the sake of doing. You know, you got to reach somewhere, and you have to be very creative about it. This lockdown has given a big opportunity to all of us, sticking at home, to bring about a lot of creativity, to keep yourself occupied, to keep yourself committed, to keep yourself active. That is important. You cannot just be, oh, I got some good time in this lockdown. Let me relax on the bed, watch the TV. Oh, no, that's not the way to go about it. Okay, so on those bases, I think physical fitness is very, very important. And I'm sure more than me, all those physical directors and trainers are 200% fitter than me. You see, I've got into that bad habit right from that 4 years, 5 years of age into doing in our time. You see, there was no such, my father only told me, go and run, that's it. Go, fresh air, have some fresh air, do some exercise. He never showed me what sort of exercises would help me. You see, probably I was gifted with that ability of extra sporting blood running in. Right? My father was a good hockey player, I was told. He was a good athlete, I was told. I don't know what sort of athlete he was in those days. Whether there were any facilities or amenities in those days, I'm not too sure about it. Right? Even in my class, there were no such amenities, there were no such facilities. Nobody to tell me what sort of talent I had. Nobody could tell me what a goal is, what an ambition is, how I should reach. Nobody. Just a physical instructor, probably with no qualification. I'm sorry to say all that. In our time, in my school days, it was like that. Okay, with a whistle in his mouth, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Throw a football, give some hockey sticks to the hockey players, and whoever is interested in athletics, go run. That's it. That was the only thing. They didn't know who the talent would be a better day for you. This is how you can progress. This is how you can go about doing a better job, whether indoors or outdoors. I mean, it is very, very important to know yourself first. Very, very important. Know your strength, know your capabilities, and then accordingly apply yourself to that with total discipline. Like you have a timetable when you are in the school, you're in the college. Likewise, in this lockdown, prepare a home timetable. A minimum of 1 hour you should spend on your physical fitness. Take along your parents. Take along your brothers, sisters, whoever. Motivate one another, inspire one another. That is what is required. Help one another. That's the most important thing. Help one another, care for one another. Be very caring to one another. Be honest and sincere. These are the keys which will take you to the top of the world. And consistency into every activity of life, into every walk of life is the key for you to be a successful human being. That's the key, consistency. So on that count, I think there cannot be many more from my side as to how one should keep oneself fit and how one should adhere to looking after oneself, guys. And I'm sure you will enjoy Rita Abraham, her experiences. And I think at this juncture, I would like to congratulate all those sports directors who are listening to me on from wherever in our country, and all those viewers and listeners at the same time, right? So on that count, be very careful, look after yourself. The protocols which the doctors have been conveying on the social media, on the television, on all the channels. That's very important to keep away from this very dangerous virus which is in the air globally. So on that count, I take this opportunity in wishing all of you good health and happiness. Keep yourself fit so that you can keep others fit as well. So all the directors, my greetings to all of you, my salams to you, and my namaste to all of you. Thank you so much, Sister Elizabeth, Sajan, and Dr. Kishore Kumar, and of course, Dr. Shanta. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share what physical fitness is all about. And if there are any questions to be asked, Dr. Kishore Kumar, please go ahead.
Sir, there are about two questions. How do you feel about making a fitness class compulsory in schools and colleges?
Well, I suppose in our time, we had a PT class every day. That has gone from the schools, that has gone from the colleges, right? So that has to come back into the schools and the colleges. Every class had a physical PT class, PT period, physical training period. So which is gone. Everybody is become academic. Education. No physical activity for the kids of today. You see, multi-storied buildings in the colleges, no playground for the school kids. Our time schools still they have school grounds, they have playground, they have all sorts of, and of course, the new far away from the city limits, the schools and the colleges which have opened, you know, they've extended, right? So there they have the nice facilities, amenities, of the latest equipment which has been provided to the school kids in the colleges. So it is very, very necessary when you have such things in the schools and the colleges, the facilities, the sporting facilities, and every year there should be some proper annual sports which do take place, of course, which do take place. Yes, the old time schools have the school grounds, like Bishop Cotton's have, St. Joseph's have, Cathedral have, Frank Anthony have, St. Germain's have. They have not, of course, St. Joseph's College had a wonderful ground actually. Now multi-storied buildings have come up onto that ground, unfortunately. St. Joseph's College, I don't know why such buildings have been coming up, multi-storied buildings. Commercialization has taken place, the top place in everybody's life, I suppose. So on that count, it is very, very pertinent and very, very important that the schools and the colleges have a period of physical training, or in the evening after the college, after the school. We used to have all the games. You see, after the school, 3:30, and whoever is interested in football, hockey, cricket, all the major games, right? Basketball, athletics, all into the playground, and that's how we all play. That's how I played, right? And that's how, fortunately for me, I think in all the team games, my first, I think Reet will enjoy this. Reet, my first sport was athletics. Did you know that? I ran 100 meters, 200 meters and relay for St. Joseph's. And believe me, barefooted I ran at Continua Stadium, BSSC. State schools athletic meet at Continua. My friends who had spikes, I could, and my father could not afford canvas shoes, by the way. So and my father was discouraging actually for taking part in sport, but on the sly, I used to go into the sporting activities, take part in to start with, then get on with the other sports, all discipline, major sports, football, hockey, cricket. Cricket was my last game actually. So that's how my first sport was athletics. So I love that. So one has to be an athlete to play any sport, any discipline of sport. That's very, very important, right? So with this, what's your second question, Dr. Kishore Kumar?
The other question, seeing as you were speaking about the academics, sir, how would you feel if sports is being given equal importance as academics and is made a part of the curriculum in college?
Well, I suppose it all should start at school level. Now, there's so much of professionalism. There's so much of professionalism into all major sports. There's so much of money involved, right? And so the parents of today,
to ask one more question,
if they have two sons or two daughters, one son will be getting into academics, another son will get into sports, and they first say, go to cricket. More money there. It is very, very important now. Now, due to cricket, due to sports, now
we got disconnected. I asked one question.
If
you can ask. So one question you can ask him.
If one cricketer plays IPL,
thank you, sir,
one season, he becomes a crorepati. So everybody is concentrating on IPL, and the education, it has to be going together. It has to be abreast with one another, education and sporting activities. This is very, very important. This is where the college and the school should look into it. Tell the student, give them the required amenities, facilities, which is there right now. Okay, and the colleges also. They have all the latest technologies, latest equipment, the best equipment available in the market. So they got to encourage the teachers, the professors, the directors, the sports directors, the physical directors, everybody should, harp upon education and sports simultaneously. Simultaneously, it should go together. You see, you have to be educated also. Just because you are good in sports, you cannot neglect your studies. You have to be educated to combat. There are so many aspects of life which you have to learn. Until eternity, you are learning. So on those bases, I suppose it is very, very important for all colleges. I think Jyoti Nivas College has a lovely play field. You see, I was given the honor by Sister Elizabeth on one or two occasions, to be present for their annual Sports Day celebrations and then their cricket tournament, women's cricket tournament. In fact, my second daughter was a student of Jyoti Nivas, and it was Sister Elizabeth who gave her the admission, I suppose. Nevertheless, so they have a good, wonderful ambience in Jyoti Nivas. I mean, that's how the colleges and schools are right now, which are on the outskirts. They're all called the international schools, and it's a wonderful feeling and that facilities and amenities are provided to the kids at school and at the college level as well. So there should be a balancing emphasis on sports, both and to be double international, like Anil Kumble, software engineer, international cricketer, Rahul Dravid, wow, become a high-class student. I mean, these are the classic examples the sports directors, the trainers should inculcate into the students, the teachers, the professors, the principals, the chancellors. Dr. Kishore Kumar, you've been the vice chancellor, right? So on those bases, this is how you got to motivate the kids. You got to put that extra energy into them and say, it should come from the heart, from within it should come. Yes, I will be a rank student. I'll be better than Kumble. I'll be better than Dravid. I'll be better than who is the Syed Kirmani? He has not done anything. I'll be better than him. So that's how the motivation and inspiration should take place, Dr. Kishore Kumar. Yes, what is the next question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kishore Kumar,
it's out of
very
my curiosity.
Let me tell you another point. Let me tell the wards another very, very important point, which it slipped off my shining and slippery head, so on that count, it is very, very important that one should adhere to the discipline. Very important. Discipline is what builds one's character. One has to be determined. One has to be dedicated to whatever one is aiming at. And discipline, I would put ahead of the two, because discipline is what builds one's character. It's very, very important. So these are the few keys which I have passed it on to all the viewers and the listeners on the Jyoti Nivas webinar. Yes, sir. Next question.
Sir, related to your cricket, so I have heard that you love to sleep a lot.
Sorry?
In one of the series, the team manager wanted you to observe how Alan Knott was going about his job. You nodded your head, and once the manager moved on, you again started sleeping, it seems. Is it true? Or do you recall that incident?
No. You see, now let me put it this way. Let me tell you this incident first, and then come on to that incident. That was my First trip with the Indian team to England, 1971. Right, Ajit Wadekar's captaincy, where Ajit Wadekar and the Indian team created history by winning the series in England. Right, so I was the baby of the team, and my first international wicketkeeper who I was watching was Alan Knott, who was considered the world's best. Okay, so I was watching him. And I spoke to him before the match in the practice sessions here and there, taking a few tips out of him. He was a fitness fanatic. He was a fitness fanatic. He wouldn't stand quietly in his place while on the field or away in a party. Also, something or the other, some hand or the other, he will be stretching a little bit when he is in a party. Also, he does this. So all these things I have observed, and I have watched these great cricketers and sports persons from varied disciplines and picked a little bit of that. You cannot be watching the whole day, the cricket match, and I'm in the reserves. I don't have to play. Right? Finished my physical fitness, etc. and etc. So I watched and I picked up whatever little I could from Alan Knott and the rest of the top players of my time, and then I went off to sleep. So I was sleeping. This assistant manager called what Mathur he was, some Mathur, but he was the vice president of the board of control. He came and whacked. One whack on my shoulder. Hey, तू सोने को आया है क्या? देख Alan Knott को कैसा कर रहा है वो wicket keeping. That became a very popular thing. Kirmani sleeps in the dressing room. But let me tell you here to all of you, I'm sure you would have heard of this great icon from Australia. Oh, the world's best batsman in the world, right, of his time. Okay, so before he could bat, and he had an average of 100. Okay, 100. So he would be with his pads on. He would be sleeping until his turn comes. So when you are resting your mind, when you're resting your eyes, right, you rejuvenate. You rejuvenate yourself. You see, now again, this is a piece of advice again. You see, now if you've had a lunch, good lunch, and I'm sure you all must have had good lunch to come on to this webinar at 3 p.m. Yes, I'm sure everybody would have had a good meal, good afternoon meal. Of course, they say that you got to have a breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. You see, nevertheless, these are the dieting controls which one should adhere also while trying to be physically fit. You see, this is very important. Diet control is also very, very important here. So on that count, Dr. Kishore Kumar, yes, it was true that I used to sleep after watching for a while. Enough, yaar, kitna sara din I cannot be seeing a match being in the reserves. So on that count, so that became a very popular incident. Kirmani sleeps on tours. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sir, that is the last question we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Kishore, would you like to just give your concluding remarks, and we can continue from there?
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, sir, for an inspiring talk. Your experience and the knowledge with respect to the value of fitness in the field of sports and in the overall health of an individual will motivate us to give more importance on healthy lifestyle.
Yes,
So,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kishore Kumar. Let me also sum up by saying, let me say goodbye to all of you who have been listening to me and on.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Dr. Syed Kirmani, sir.
Discussion. Stay safe. Full experience to the students. With this, I'll say goodbye. I have got other commitments. It's over to, I think, Reed to share your experiences. Bye for now.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next we have, thank you, Dr. Syed Kirmani. Next we have Mrs. Rita Abraham, former international athlete and Arjuna Awardee, to address our views and a vast experience about how physical fitness could be implemented as a way of life. Presently, Mrs. Rita Abraham is a consultant for sports and fitness and also director of NEB Sports. During the course of her long career in athletics for 15 years, Mrs. Rita Abraham had represented Karnataka state and our country on a number of occasions, setting records along the way. Her achievement has been a result of dedication, application, and sense of discipline. Madam, we are really honored to have you on this occasion of national webinar as resources. All of us are keenly waiting for your talk. Over to you, madam.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Am I audible? Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be part of this physical fitness program on webinar organized by Jyoti Nivas College. Being healthy and staying fit has been, very important to me from the age of 12. That is when I started sports. And I think this is the first time that I would be addressing such a huge gathering of PE teachers and coaches and people related to sports and health and fitness. But it's really difficult to be and a little challenging to speak without an interactive audience. But as a gathering, it is I speak from my heart and through my experiences. Yeah, it's a pleasure for me again to be on this webinar to address you all. I want to talk a little bit about what sports has done to me and how I started as a child in school when I was 12 years old, and what are the facilities we had then and what the facilities that the kids have now and things like that, to just give you an insight about how important passion is for you to excel. It's not only sport, but whatever career that one chooses to be in. So when I was in school, I have 4 other sisters, and we are 5 girls. And I remember my father telling us when we started sports and athletics that health is wealth. So if you stay healthy, everything falls into place. You may have tons of money and you may be earning a lot and you may have all the luxuries that you require, you think you require, but if your health is not in your hands, or if you are not healthy, everything falls into pieces. So I think it's really important that you stay healthy and fit always. So when I started, I was 12 years old, and I think I was lucky that I was born in the early 60s because we didn't have, other than sport, no other extracurricular activity like what the kids have now. When I say, extracurricular activities like television, telephones, and outings, going to the hotels, pubs, bars, movie theaters, nothing at all. So all of us, whether we be good or bad, we did sports. And like Mr. Kirmani said, that we used to have PE period every day, and all of us enjoyed it. Whether you are thin or fat or not, fit, everybody, it was compulsory for everybody to do, take part in the PE classes. And it was fun, and everybody, whether it was, scorching 12 o'clock in the afternoon, or it was, early in the morning, we we had to take part in PE classes. And I remember, though we had a 40 minutes lunch break, we would finish our lunch in 10 minutes, and the next half an hour we would play games. So that was how important and what fun we had those days. But now, if you look at schools and colleges, the sports ground is becoming smaller and smaller, and buildings are, going higher and higher and occupying the sports grounds. And one of the schools recently called me to go there as a chief guest for one of the sports days, and I asked them, how big is your sports ground? And they said, no, we don't have a sports ground, so we are hiring a local, a community ground to do our sports. And I was talking about, my school days as to when I would, and I was 12 years old, and we were, all of us were taking part in sports events, and even during lunch break, we would do it. But since now, this is regarding PE education, and I was saying that we had PE classes every day, but I have to mention when I reached high school, and I was in 7th and 8th standard, I remember I started taking to liking to track and field, and when my first competition, I raced ahead of girls who were older than me. And at that point of time, my PE teacher told me that I think you have the talent and you should come for practice every day. And I, even till today, I give her a lot of credit for what I have achieved today, because she showed me and she guided me to the right path. She said, if you, with just a couple of months of training, can, go ahead and beat girls who are older than you, you have the capacity and capabilities, if you train every day under a right coach, to excel in sports. And at that point of time, I was too young, and I didn't know what it was to train every day and win medals either for the state or for the country. But what I'm trying to say here is the PE teacher in my school, she did a lot, and she was so passionate about what she did. Those days, excuse me, those days we didn't have our parents to drop us and pick us up from the school to the ground where I trained. So I was born and brought up in Mysore. Those are small place. We didn't have a synthetic track, or we didn't even have a proper track. But we went as a group from school, the last period or last hour in school, we were allowed to leave, and our PE teacher would take us to the training track. And that would be about 3.5-4 kilometers away from school. And all of us walked together to the track, including our PE teacher. And we finished our workouts and we walked back to school and then to our houses. So that's how dedicated she was. And I would like to thank her. Even today, I call her sometimes and, speak with her and inquire about her, because that's the regard that I have for her. So since you all are PE teachers, I am telling you that you all play a very, very important role in building the future of your children. Whether they are attuned to become very good sports persons in their life lessons, I must say, because sports has taught me to be disciplined in life and pursue whatever I want to do in life, and nothing comes. It has taught me that nothing comes easy in life. You have to put in hard work and to be positive all the time. These are the 4 things that sport has taught me, and even till today, whatever I do in my life, it's with discipline, and I give 100% to whatever I do, and that's what sport has taught me. So after doing my sports, I joined Corporation Bank and I worked there for 25 years. So for me, whatever I took up in my job, also, I give my 100%. It's not that, okay, I'm a sports person and I have to work only for a few hours and I not do the work. But while I was in the office, I gave my 100%. So that's what sports taught me. Give 100%. and it teaches you life lessons that nobody else can teach you. So it does not matter that because my level has been different and my dedication and discipline has to be different. But in school, if you teach the students what it is to, take part in your PE classes and show them discipline, and when it's done in the right way, the right perspective, they learn to do things in the right way. And that's how important a PE teacher is. I know in most of the schools there are no facilities, there are no equipments, but it doesn't matter what you teach the child, because when I was growing up, absolutely there were no facilities in my shop. There were no, hurdles laid out for us on the track. Me and my other friend who did hurdles with me, we carried the hurdles in that wheelbarrow for almost a kilometer from one room to our track, measured the track, then laid out the hurdles, then went and did a warm-up. And even we dug the long jump pits. But we never cribbed. That was what we had those days. And we didn't know, how to compare ourselves. What we had was good, and what the people overseas or in other states, what they had. But we said, do the best with what you have with you. Never complain about what you have, what you don't have. Make the best of what you have. And I think that's very, very important. The current day kids, I'm not saying that they don't have the talent. The talent is in abundance, but they need to be guided properly. And PE teachers in the junior classes, and I think you play a very, very important role, because you are the ones who can guide that child, to stay fit, keep fit, come for your sports classes every day. And I know most PE teachers have limitations with regard to going to professional coaching. What you can do is, after a certain level, hand over that child to a professional coach who can further the career of that child. That should be your aim. And the joy that you get to see a child when he is representing the state or the country, not only bringing laurels to the school, and deep inside you feel good about yourself. And as a PE teacher, I think that's what you should aim at. And then most PE teachers that I know of, they are very, very disappointing. They finish their BPEd, MPEd or NIS, and as soon as they get a job, they are content. They are happy. They don't want to do anything else. They think their job is over. And in most schools and colleges, they don't give any importance to PE classes. And whatever few PE classes they have extra classes for their academics, and they engage the PE teachers to do other administrative jobs. And I think you should just put your foot down and tell your schools how important PE classes are, because that's what you are there for. And you have to do the job like everybody else. And if you don't have a passion for your job, you're going to stay there. Maybe you'll work in that school and college for a very long time, but you will not see any success. That satisfaction you get of doing your job is totally different. And during this pandemic situation, it has taught us how important it is if you are fit and healthy. And overnight, it threw us all off balance. And before we could realize what was happening, our entire lifestyle changed. And in a way, I used to talk to my friends and tell them, it's good that the whole world is going through this pandemic, because if it was just our country or another country or a few states, we would never have known what a person is going through. Like today, when you read the papers, Bombay is going through floods and the whole city is, it's in a mess. But unless you're in that situation, nobody will understand what you're going through. And that's why I'm saying today's pandemic situation with the COVID-19 has created is humongous, the way it has changed everybody's lives. For instance, I'm an outdoor person. I work out every day and go to the gym twice a week and go for a run twice a week and, things like that. But overnight, everything had to stop. And for me, that was totally depressing. I did go through a short period where I was feeling so low. I didn't know what to do about myself because I've never switched on an online program to do my exercises. And, it was very tough for me to stay cooped up in my life. But one thing sports has taught is you have to bounce back in life, whatever it is, because during your competitions or your training period, every day is not the same. You may train, throughout the year, but when it comes to competition and you don't perform, it's a horrible feeling. And what sport has taught me is if you don't bounce back, you will never reach where you want to be, or you never can achieve your dreams. And when I used to compete, and I was a very bad loser, though I didn't have a very good competition in the country, I would always set targets for myself. And during competition, if I did not achieve those targets, I would be very, very disappointed with myself. And for the next whole week, I would brood and feel miserable about myself. But after the 5th or 6th day, I would sit back and analyze what went wrong with my performance. Why is it I was not able to reach a particular target that I set for myself? And I had to work backwards to see what went wrong. And that is what sport teaches you also, to bounce back in life. And during this pandemic, when I was depressed and low, I had to tell myself that it's not just you who's going through this miserable period. The whole world is going through it. So do something to feel good about yourself. Stay positive. And so I had to download a whole lot of online apps, to exercise and to be motivated. I used to go to the gym thrice a week. So I didn't have any, dumbbells or weightlifting bars, anything at home, nothing at all. And I enjoy working out at gym, but I didn't have anything. So I had to learn different ways of, keeping fit, staying positive, and working out on strength training and everything. So in the last 4 months, that I have been working indoors, it's good. I mean, working outdoors is fantastic, but staying indoors and working indoors has been different. And the most important thing, I think, for all of us is to stay positive. Staying fit, this pandemic has taught us that if you are staying fit, eating healthy, and staying positive, you can survive and do anything that you want to do with your lives. And you as teachers, as parents, and as influencers play a very important role from the child, the time the child comes to your school at the age of 5 and finishes. And the other thing I want to tell you PE teachers is, are you fit? I don't know how many of you keep fit, how many of you exercises regularly to keep fit. When you preach something, you have to practice it too, right? So do something. If any of you are not fit, not exercising, do it. It's never too late to start exercising. There are so many people who come and ask me that, I have not been exercising. I've never done anything in my school days, college days. I'm in my mid 30s or late 30s. Can I start exercising? It is never too late to start exercising. You can do it anytime. You can start anytime, but start with the guidance of somebody who's experienced and somebody who can show you the right way of exercising and being there to stay fit. I am still competing in the masters category. Masters category is something where over the age of 35, where you form into age groups of 5. Every 5 years is an age group, and I compete at the level and at the Asian level. So I see a lot of participants there from different countries, and it's amazing to see their fitness levels. And in India, I'm considered fit for my age because I'm 58, and they say you're super fit and things like that. But when I go overseas and see those athletes, I get a complex because they are super fit. Because in our country, sports is an extracurricular activity. Keeping fit, they say, is only for sports persons. So anybody else other than sports persons are not supposed to exercise. That's the notion everybody has. But I see for the past a decade, last 10 years, things have changed and people are more conscious about exercising. So talking about these masters competitions, the oldest person who comes to run there, I have seen, is 102 years old. And he's from Mexico and he runs the 400 meters. Mind you, he doesn't walk, he runs. So that's the level of fitness people all over the country have. And in India, it's totally different. PE classes, having every day, they say if you have 3 days in a week, it is fantastic for a school. And I say it is ridiculous. I have been fighting with the government, with the center or with the state, or whenever I go to any government programs based on physical PE classes, that they should make it compulsory in schools right from the age of 5. Make it part of the curriculum like any other subject. I was asked to study physics and chemistry from class 6, 7 up to 10 standard. And I hated those subjects. Why force me to do physics and chemistry when it's of no use to me in my life? And the same thing with physical education and sport. If it is made compulsory in all the classes, nobody is going to regret that. That discipline which the child is taught to keep fit and stay fit and how you can stay positive, and the feel-good factor when you are exercising and feel good will never go away. When you have experienced it once, it will be there in your blood forever. And you want to, as you grow older, exercising is important. So if you have missed for a couple of years, you will definitely come back to it. So I have been insisting for a very long time that they should make it compulsory in schools and colleges. It is just not for fitness sake, but even for the children to understand each sport in the country. How many of them know, other than cricket and few, popular sports in the country, how it is placed, what are the rules, regulations? Nobody knows. And that's why the interest in sport in the country is, I would say, zero. But, it's very, very less. Because cricket is shown on the television almost all the time. Everybody knows in and out about the sport. These days, shuttle badminton is shown. So to a certain extent, they know about it. So if that is taught in schools and colleges in a small way, at least, people will be interested. And there'll be more people indulging in sports. And maybe that will result in us winning more medals at the, world level, at the Olympics or whatever. So things have to change in our country. And you as PE teachers, educating children, play a very important role. And I think it's time for you to change your roles. And now fitness and health due to pandemic has changed everything. And I hope you open your eyes and talk differently and think differently when you go back to school and colleges, to teach your children the importance of sport and feeling, staying healthy and fit. And one other thing that I want to, talk about is how this pandemic has caused, the disruption in everybody's life, and whether you are fit or not. If you're going through depression, you can see the number of people who have committed suicide and who are taking pills, they can't sleep. But I think if you have stayed fit and healthy and talking to people who have a positive attitude in life, everything can change. And you as PE teachers can be mentors. at this point of time, if you were close to your students, they can call you, you can mentor them, because it's very tough for children also to stay indoors. So if you can be a mentor at this time for the children in your schools, you can just call up the phone and speak to the parents and see what they're going through. And I don't know how many of you are taking online classes at that point of time to help your students stay fit, but it would be a fantastic thing for you as PE teachers. And if you have been exercising, there are famous quotes which says that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And this, has been going on for years, but of late, we don't give importance to it. And it's always known that exercise boosts the brain health and memory. So how important it is for you to exercise. Make the children exercise for their growth, for their concentration, and to improve their memory. It is important. And how it cuts depression, dementia, and everything. So talking about sports, which has changed my life for me, and what I am today is because of sports. And do you want to do it again? Yes. Given another chance to be born again, I would like to be born as a sports person again and do much better than what I have done now and win more medals for the country, and be a motivating factor to as many children or parents who would like to follow me. And even to this day, there are parents who would like to talk to me and ask what is best for their children, because most parents have this notion that your child can become a champion overnight. No, like how to get a basic degree, you have to study for 15 years or more, even in a sport. To see some kind of improvement or a performance in a child's sport, you have to work for minimum 8 to 9 years. There may be one odd child who's very, very talented who will achieve results faster, but to reach any levels, you have to be in the sport for 10 to 12 years. So it's not easy. You cannot become a champion overnight. There is no shortcut to success. Only hard work, dedication, and perseverance with a positive attitude will bring you success. Yep, I think I have spoken enough, and I'm ready to take some questions now and answer whatever participants have.
Thank you, madam. So my special thanks to you for recognizing our professional friends, how important they are in building the personality of a child. I would like to ask a few questions, a few years back, especially the ladies, they had tough time to enter into the field of sports. That time, what did your parents' reaction when you wanted to choose sports as your career?
Frankly speaking, I didn't know at that point of time when I was 14, 15, 16, even, at that stage, I didn't know that I could make sports my career. And there were very few women in the 80s, participating in sports. And it was a tough period for me to convince my parents that, I want to take up sports professionally. Because the facilities were so bad, more than anything else, it was the scare for my parents whether it is safe for me to go from one place to another, staying in a place where they don't know where we are. Because at that point of time, we didn't have that much of money to spend, and I would come from Mysore to Bangalore. Anywhere you have to go out, I had to come, from Mysore to Bangalore. And those days, taking a flight was unheard of. We used to travel second class and stay in schools and colleges provided by the organizers. So that was, I never went back to my parents to say, tell them that we were, staying in such conditions, because I knew that if I tell them, I would never be permitted to go to my sports again. But we were so passionate about everything. We just shut our eyes to whatever was around us, and like horses blinkers, we just looked at the positive side of it. You loved doing what you wanted to do, and the pleasure it gave you to compete and to practice and the sport. So you just shut eyes to it. But unfortunately, not too many things have changed even now in our country. But I'm really thankful that in the 80s the situation changed a little bit. The 82 Asian Games happened, and during the 82 Asian Games, that was my first international exposure, and the women athletes of India did fantastically well. They did superbly well and won so many medals, and the eyes of the entire country changed towards the women competing. So that's when most parents, I think, started allowing their girl child to go out and take part in sports.
Madam, as even Kirmani referred your fitness program, and even I have noticed you are very energetic, active, having passion for the sports, and you have maintained good physique and very charming. Can you tell us the secret behind this? Because now everybody wants to look and want to become evergreen like Rajkumar or Devar. Can you tell us the secret behind this?
Frankly, there is no secret to staying fit. It is how you want your life to be, right? For me, staying fit and exercises has been part of my lifestyle from the age of 12. And I have been exercising ever since. So it's close to, 50 odd years that I have been exercising now. And for me, it's like you wake up in the morning and everybody goes straight in the bathroom to, brush your teeth. For me, it is you wake up in the morning and you exercise, whether it is indoors or outdoors, or you do yoga, you have to do something for half an hour. And I can stay away from exercising for 3 days. More than 3 days, you can see that I'm irritable and impatient. I get angry and things like that. So it's important for me. It's part of my lifestyle. I cannot do without exercising. And I am very careful. As you grow older, your whole metabolism changes. So you have to be careful about how much you eat, what you eat, how much you drink, and things like that. So you cannot overdo anything, whether it is exercises or eating. You have to be careful.
Thank you very much for your inspirational talk. The listeners, please note, if you have any question, please post to chat box. Mrs. Rita Abraham would be pleased to answer them. It's my request. Finally, I thank Mrs. Rita Abraham for giving your valuable time for us. We are really lucky to listen such a wonderful and educating talk by both the speakers. Both the speakers have shared their life experiences with all of us. In fact, such motivating talks is the need of the hour to come out from the present condition of COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure this talk will be a great booster to all my professional friends and the youngsters. Friends, Mrs. Rita Abraham is a living example. She won international medals even after discontinuing several months during her pregnancy and thereafter nurturing her child. Dear sports persons, you don't worry and be positive. I'm afraid to use the term be positive. Don't think, uh, don't link it to COVID-19. So, dear friends, be positive. Uh, this physical fitness activities itself is considered as one of the therapy along with other oral medicines for the patients suffering from COVID-19. We should all understand that doing physical activities only during the short period of health crisis will not help the body much to overcome any sickness, as said Rita Abraham. So it's a very long process. Gaining good health through physical activities is a long-term process. Uh, at least now people should realize the importance of physical fitness to have a healthy body. I hope this webinar served the purpose for which it has been organized. Once again, I thank the organizers for the opportunity given to me. I also thank all the participants of this webinar, technicians, and other members of this webinar session. And my special thanks to Mr. Dr. Sajjan George for giving me an opportunity. Dear friends, so be safe and take care of your health. Thank you very much.
We conducted the webinar successfully. You can see the pandemic or any kind of stumbling block to physical fitness or mental well-being as that hurdle which we in our human spirit must overcome. So I thought that what happened today was so interestingly symbolic as well. So on behalf of the head of the Department of Physical Education, Dr. Sajjan George of Jyoti Nivas College, I thank our resource persons, Mr. Syed Kirmani and Ms. Reet Abraham, for giving their time, the effort, sharing their passion for sports and physical fitness with all our viewers. I'm sure your words have resonated very strongly with all our viewers. I thank Dr. Kishore Kumar for his passionate and balanced moderating and bringing out key nuances in the presentation of the resource person. A very special thanks to our principal, Dr. Sister Elizabeth, who is the wind beneath our wings, our motivator, guide, and support. Finally, a very big thank you to the technical team and all the expertise that has gone into making this webinar a success. A big thank you to all the participants for patiently and passionately being with us. As I said, through the minor glitches, but in the end, I'm sure what we got from the webinar was worth it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.